I ain't gonna keep it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Situation with the police and the whole media. Like, how was it?
The law was when the feds came in and we went to go pick up some candy. We get down to the place and the feds was like, the product been seized. It's under investigation. We're under investigation. And when they're moving till they cleared up everything, they'll be in touch with us.
Did it ever get cleared up?
Yeah, so they got back in touch and, you know, told us to come pick up the product.
What did you do then? Like, did it kind of put you on hold?
Yeah, they had us up probably like about 3 weeks or months, something like that. What it really did was show me that I can't allow these people to have the power to slow me up like that. Yeah. That's part of the reason why I stopped selling drugs and all that, because I seen that the streets weren't controlled by nobody in the streets, no matter who had the biggest name, what cartel or clique or people had the most power in the streets. They didn't control it. And when there was a drought, that was determined by government. Once I seen that, I kind of, you know, got out of it. But it kind of showed me that that's the power that they look to always possess, because if anything going on within the country, and a lot of times like outside the country, they want to have control over it to the point to where if they wanted to be held up, then it'll be held up, and you can't do nothing about it.
That's when you found your own.
Yeah, that's when I started making it domestically, because you gotta have stuff cleared through customs and all this. So, yeah.
So would you say when you decided to do that, that's when Weed World became a boom, or you know, like really
I can really sell. Yeah, because it was able to pick up the real momentum that it needed to ensure that it wouldn't be, it was a limited supply. Yeah.
So you said, so to my understanding, it started out with just a group of men. Am I right?
Yeah.
When did you start hiring other people and start bringing in outsiders and, you know,
strangers?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more so been a close-knit type thing. Only people who really sold candy was people that were really affiliated and associated and was, you know, together.
Yeah.
And then,
so it started out as a family thing.
Yeah. So. It started out as a family. Because we was, you had certain business and certain stuff, ideas being shared at the time then. Even though it wasn't no money there for a lot of the people, even myself, you know, the money wasn't there to just make certain moves. But
when did it become political, more for the cause and not just to do something?
It became political with me from the beginning. When I first decided to even try marijuana, it was political with me, because I felt like this is something that's natural, it's from the earth. This is not nothing that you could just go and buy at the store that man and, you know, made and put in a bottle and all that stuff.
Well, that whole marijuana as a drug thing comes from the whole high grades, so you can't.
Yeah, but at that time you didn't have high grades. The high grades was skunk, super skunk. No, not super skunk. It was just skunk weed.
So throughout the years, since the laws have changed towards marijuana, has the business flunked or has it been better?
The business, whether legal or illegal, the business will still thrive, because we are heavily involved in the culture. So we understand the business and we understand how to market to, you know, our target customers. We know how to reach them.
How do you handle customers that aren't, well, you know, customers that aren't happy?
I try to see what I could do to satisfy them. I might send them some samples of some different products that they haven't tried that tend to satisfy most of any unsatisfied customer I ever dealt with.
There's a lot of stories out there about WeWork Candies, about it's a scam and it's
Yeah, a lot of people say it's a scam because certain employees may misrepresent the product, and they might
So
tell
what would
something.
be your message to them?
It's hard to kind of account for every individual that would give misleading information, because it's something you can't get around, just like I can't get around some of the employees trying to steal money. So you can have a camera on certain restaurant employees, and they still tend to try to steal some money. So you know what I'm saying? People are going to try to do conniving and kind of stuff like that. Anyway.
So, I mean, you was in New York Post, you was in LA Times, New York Times.
Actually, I wasn't in New York Post.
Well, you was in the company.
Got by the
right.
name of OG Kush was
Right.
on the front page.
So let me rephrase that. WeWork Candies was on the cover of New York Post. It was New York Times, LA Times, CNN, Fox News, different. I can't actually think of all of them right now, but I mean it's actually like recently you had a story in which the RV blew up on the Delaware Memorial Bridge, and they thought it was actually going to be a terrorist attack.
No, actually, they keep questioning me whether or not it was a publicity stunt, and you know, we kind of got some legal issues going on right now because they feel like it was nothing mechanical. It was all for publicity, because the story actually got worldwide coverage, and the business, we had a spike in business, so they kind of thinking that, hey, these guys had something like this similar happen the year before. Maybe this is something. It was a vehicle in Wisconsin on the near the campus or something like that for Hemp Festival, and they had a marijuana march up there, and a vehicle, WeWork vehicle, on fire. So this was it made news, but it didn't get as much the biggest media coverage as
the fact that you
the
guys
Delaware Bridge. So
yeah.
they thinking that maybe that one was staged, maybe the first one was staged. So I can't really
get into that.
Yeah, get into it too much.
So I mean, it's obvious you guys travel all around the country with these vehicles. How is it? Who take care of the maintenance? How does that work out as far as the employees, and how do you divide the fact with the maintenance of the vehicle and who's driving it, and how does that operate? Is the driver responsible?
Yeah, the drivers are pretty much responsible. Majority of drivers, some drivers could be working more temp positions, so they wouldn't necessarily carry the same responsibility, but
so you started out with one vehicle, and now you have about how many?
I'm not sure right now, but yeah, it started with one vehicle, and I remember taking good care of that one vehicle, and it lasts, it lasts quite some time. But the thing is, now you're dealing with a lot of different people, you're dealing with a lot of different mishaps.
I also see that you hire a lot of young men. Do they fare, or do they fare about what they're about to go through? How do you hire these men? How do you hire these guys?
You said that they feel what they're about to go through. You kind of made it sound as if they're about to be circumcised or something.
No, I mean as far as you're driving around in a week. Like with me, I mean, no, I'll be kind of scared to drive around in a marijuana truck. And most states that you guys drive past is they're not gonna take that. Do they? How does that work out?
They really want to have. You got to figure if you applying for a job, you probably wouldn't fit the position you're applying for.
So how often do you guys run through employees?
We don't have a high turnover rate. It's not easy to get in, and it's not easy to get out.
Okay.